Happy Friday the 13th, everyone, and welcome to the Gaily News. Anyone else hoping Jason would just come around and finish some business? Would solve a lot of problems, maybe. Anyway, I'm your host, Elliot Bright, and on this February 13th, 2026, we're seeing defiance in action, and some grim reminders of how fast things can turn. Today brought us a triumphant re-raising of the pride flag at Stonewall, a Catholic Church marriage blessing for a trans couple that's now under threat, a UK court ruling on trans women's restroom access that's equal parts win and mess, trans and non-binary Iowans weighing whether to stay or flee after rights erosion, and Virginia LGBTQ+ advocates pushing a new governor to reverse funding cuts. These are the stories dominating the feed, raw, urgent, and full of fight. Let's get into it. Cheers rang out in Christopher Park today as hundreds gathered, joined by elected officials like Manhattan Borough President Brad Hoylman-Siegel and Councilmember Chiase, to hoist the rainbow pride flag back over Stonewall National Monument on Thursday afternoon, February 12th, with coverage exploding today. The defiant ceremony came days after the Trump administration's Interior Department yanked the long-flying flag under new guidance limiting non-official displays at NPS sites. Activists called it erasure of LGBTQ+ history at the birthplace of the 1969 uprising. The administration raged back, labeling the reinstallation political pageantry. The flag now flies alongside the Stars and Stripes again, symbolic resistance at its finest. You can't erase Stonewall, you just make it louder. Now for a quick detour to Argentina. A straight trans couple's Catholic Church marriage blessing is now under fire. On February 8th, the Archdiocese of Buenos Aires announced an investigation and threatened warnings and formal canonical disciplinary measures against the priests who performed the ceremony for a trans man and cis woman, claiming missing ecclesiastical documentation. The couple, legally married under Argentine law, had their union blessed in church, until higher-ups discovered the groom's trans status. Advocates are calling it blatant discrimination. The case highlights ongoing tensions in the Catholic Church over trans inclusion, despite Pope Francis-era openings. The blessing stands for now, but the threat hangs heavy. Love recognized by the state, questioned by the hierarchy. Mixed bag from the UK High Court today. Trans women can lawfully use public women's restrooms, a clear win for everyday access, but workplaces must designate facilities based on biological sex, meaning trans employees could be forced into separate or third-option bathrooms. The ruling upheld Equality and Human Rights Commission guidance while calling some aspects incoherent. Advocates slammed it as a workers' rights crisis that invites harassment and outing. Critics of trans inclusion celebrated the workplace carve-out. Its progress in public spaces undercut by potential discrimination at jobs. Trans Brits just got a half measure that still leaves too many exposed. 1 year after Iowa became the first state to remove gender identity from its Civil Rights Act, effective 2025, trans and non-binary residents are openly debating whether to stay or leave. In a new survey of over 1,000 LGBTQ+ Iowans, released today, 25% said they've considered relocating since the repeal, citing rising discrimination, safety fears, and lack of protections in housing, employment, and public spaces. Stories like Joe Allen and Oliver Rowling, who moved to Denver in fall 2025 for a safer place, are becoming common. Iowa Public Radio highlighted the emotional toll, families weighing roots against risk. The exodus talk is real. When your state erases your legal shield, home starts feeling conditional. LGBTQ+ advocates are turning hope toward new Governor Abigail Spanberger, inaugurated in early 2026, to reverse former Governor Youngkin's cuts to LGBTQ+ funding streams, including grants for HIV prevention, youth mental health, and community programs. Today, groups like Equality Virginia and local coalitions sent open letters and held briefings urging restoration in the upcoming budget. Spanberger campaigned on inclusivity and has signaled support for equity initiatives. Advocates see an opening to rebuild what was slashed. It's early days, but the push is on. Virginia's queer community wants funding back where it belongs, supporting lives, not politics. That's your Gaily News for today. As always, timely, fierce, and unapologetically us. Keep resisting, keep building, keep showing up. This is Elliot Bright signing off. Stay fabulous, stay hopeful, and see you tomorrow.